Right lads, I am outside the Gravediggers. Yes, I know, I've done about 50 videos here, but it's always about the Guinness. I have been quoted as saying the Gravediggers, in my opinion, is the most iconic pub, I think, in the world. So we're gonna meet my good old friend Kieran. Kieran, so you see John Kavanagh on the door. Kieran is Kieran Kavanagh, 7th generation of Kavanaghs. He's gonna give us a little bit of fun history about the kind of relationship between the cemetery and the pub, and then we're gonna have some world famous coddle. I've been here many a times before, as you know, and it's always been about the Guinness, but there is a lot more. I've been quoted as saying the Gravediggers is the most iconic pub in the world, and for me this goes a lot farther than just the Guinness. So could you possibly give us a little bit of kind of background as to it even feels weird filming in the cemetery, but the whole link between the cemetery, that's the wall right there.
Yeah, that's the gable wall of the pub. Gravediggers would start knocking on the wall and stuff because that gate was closed in 1878. So from 1832 to 1878, we had a really good relationship, as in a lot of the customers came via the pub into the cemetery.
Yeah.
Because it was the main gate. 1878, they closed that gate. So we lost a lot of trade. My great-great-grandfather, Joseph Kavanagh, started advertising outside the cemetery Newgate to come back via flyers and word of mouth, come back to the pub and have some light refreshments. So when they closed those gates, there was no access to the pub via this gate, but the cemetery guys, the Gravediggers, kept having a few drinks during the day. So they'd knock on the wall with a shovel or a rock. Yeah. And then my grandfather, my dad, and previous to that, would bring out the drinks through the railings and get money on the spot. Yeah.
The gate was all the same, was just shut?
Yeah, it was closed. Both gates were closed. You couldn't come in or out. The new gate opened up, so all the new burials came in through the new gate. Yeah. So this is the older section. And then the Gravediggers used to knock on the wall, and then when my dad took over in 1973, he opened up longer days than my grandfather would have done. My grandfather opened at 6 o'clock and closed it at like 10 o'clock and stuff like that. So the younger crowd started coming to the pub and saw all these Gravediggers drinking there after work, hence the nickname becoming the Gravediggers.
So you reckon that's it? It was it wasn't the Gravediggers themselves that coined the name, it was more the kind of people who saw them?
I guess so, because we call it the shop or the pub or Josie's, and Josie's is a nickname previous to the Gravediggers, after Josephine McKenna Kavanagh, we think, or Joseph Kavanagh, we're not so sure. Yeah. But Josie's, it was the nickname up till the 1980s for us.
Now, who would you say is the most kind of famous name buried here?
You've got Michael Collins is probably the best one. Yeah. The most famous, the guy who built it, Daniel O'Connell, is the big guy in the big tower. His heart's in Rome, but it's lost, but his body's here in Ireland. That's what he requested. Most of the people involved in 1916, there's a couple of writers. There's Brendan Bean, not so far from here. Wow. That when his birthday comes along or his anniversary, people buy a bottle of Guinness or a pint and leave it at the gravestone. Wow. Every year.
And then the other thing, I can't believe I've been to this place, must be 10 times, and I've never tried the coddle. So if you would be so kind to
we'll get you a
dish us out of all, please.
Let's go.
Right, we are going to get in and get ourselves a nice warm bowl of coddle. First, lads, I want to give a massive shout out to the sponsor of this video, Manscaped. Big thanks to Manscaped, lads, for sponsoring this video in the beloved Gravediggers. Public service announcement: if you didn't already know, Manscaped are now doing beard products. The Beard Hedger is an absolute beast. Really good, strong, powerful razor. It's not going to nick you or slice you. You don't have to worry about that. Once you put the guard on it, it's literally got about 20 different settings on it. You could literally cut your hair if you wanted to. And now they've brought out the Handyman. I'll be honest, I used to look at these razors and think they were like a real 80s thing, that they were a bit pointless. They didn't really shave close enough. Now, I'm not someone who clean shaves at all, but with the neck, you got to keep the neck clean, or else you're going to look like a grizzly bear. I know some poor bastards have like the connection where the neck hair meets the chest hair. There's no real separation. Sorry lads, gross. You need to get rid of it. And that's where the Handyman comes in. It shaves super close without nicking you, and it pretty much looks like you've just clean shaved that neck without all the foam and the cream and all that sort of stuff. So if you want to grab any of these products, lads, I always say it, but if you support the sponsor, that means you're supporting me. So use my code PINTS20 to get 20% off at manscaped.com, plus you get free shipping.
That's the old bar, and now it's where we do food.
Yeah.
So it's basically just for food, drinks next door. If we're full, have a drink next door, we'll call you in. We don't do bookings or anything, it's just walking on.
I prefer that. I prefer having a drink first.
Yeah, get your courage up. This is Paul. Dara is Paul.
What's the crack? How are you?
Basically, that's where we keep the coddle. Boiled sausage and it's ribs in a broth, potatoes and onion. Yeah. So basically, that's where we serve it from. We cook it in the prep kitchen, hopefully the day before, and then we reheat that the next day. Okay, so here we go. This is not like, when it's all cold on TV. So we always serve it with some batch bread, and some soda bread. It's nicer if it's day-old bread because it kind of soaks up the stock a little bit more.
Yeah.
So a bit of soda and a bit of batch. And then inside here, this is the happy coddle. So I want to do a recipe which was like in 1833. So when the pub opened up, so you wouldn't have razor thin rashers or maybe lumps of meat like rib, collar, foot, tail, whatever you got, but heavily salted.
Yeah.
And then you boil it, and then you take out the spuds and the onion, and the next day put more spuds and onion in it. So I didn't do the one like we all do with rashers and sausages and onion and potato. I kind of wanted to make it a little bit more authentic kind of thing. So we put a bit. We do short ribs, bacon short ribs, and then we got some sausages, the controversial part of it.
Yeah.
And it's like collar which cooks away nicely in the stew. And then we kind of do a 3 to 4, and then that's the potatoes, which are the second round of potato we put in. The first one makes that stock.
It just kind of disintegrates into that.
That's it. Some people use chicken soup, but it's too salty for me, so I just use the potato which thickens it.
Yeah.
So some people like it thicker, some people like it thinner. And then because we're all chefs in here and we're a bit chefy, a bit of black pepper, which is very controversial.
Fancy coddle, this.
And then a little bit of parsley, just for colour. Well, here you go, Dara. Best of luck with that.
Thanks, boss.
Here's your coddle.
Top man.
Enjoy.
You're just going to stare at me now?
I'm going to stare at you now.
So yeah, I'm fascinated that I don't know what you call it, broth or whatever, is pretty much just water and potato, Kieran. What you're drinking.
Yeah, it's just water, and then it becomes all that stock from the ribs and the pieces and the sausage.
I like it, genuinely. I love broth in noodles, anything like that. So it's delicious. Go in with our day-old bread. I just know this is going to soak perfectly. Generous amount of bread. Oh man, that's the shot right there. That's unbelievable. That's not just white bread, it's
batch bread.
Batch bread.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
My God. Ooh. I have to develop a tactic. Just going straight in the gob with this. Yeah, definitely tastes cooked. Anyway, I think that's the thing people say when they see it. They're like, is that cooked? 100% tastes cooked. I definitely feel like my dad used to give us sausages like that. My dad was never a fan of cooking stuff for too long. So there's a feeling coming back like from my childhood or something when I was like 4 or 5 years old. Maybe my dad did used to give us coddle bug before I can even remember. Then you've got like the ribs. I was kind of thinking, how am I going to eat the ribs? But like it all just falls off once it goes in the kind of hot broth. Yeah, I mean, it's just again, it sounds so stupid, but it's like an inland version of a chowder, like that same feeling of warmth. We're in these people's seats, so we'll get out now in a sec. Absolutely incredible. So my dad died when I was 11.
Okay.
But he used to always want to go coddle, but I'm thinking maybe he used to make it for us when I was extremely young.
Probably, yeah. It's one of those dishes that a lot of men could make because they threw it all together and it was like, you warm it up, there's very little in it, you know?
Yeah, because it was a very familiar feeling.
Also, I put a slightly smaller sausage in it than a big sausage. So
yeah, because a big sausage, you're going to, like, do people ever ask for like a knife and fork? Yeah. No, that's not like a.
No. Like,
how are you doing?
A lot of people just have the spoon. Like it usually falls apart, so the sausage you can break up. But yeah, there's knives and forks. A lot of people get it to share.
Right. Yeah.
They get a couple to share. And
that in there is just. Is that like? Is this regular butter?
Yeah. If you think if you're feeding a family of 6, you've got your batch bread on the table, and you've got a bowl of coddle each. No matter how much meat is, there's more spuds in it than anything else, and there's lots more bread and butter. So
they're probably killing each other over the slices of bread.
Yeah, you can only see it in Ireland, like a big batch bread buttered on it, or a lump of butter beside it.
Right, Kieran, well, thoroughly enjoying this.
No worries, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you. Just out of the Gravediggers. It must be about my 10th video here. But yeah, really enjoyed that. Felt quite weird not having a pint of Guinness, but we have to drive home, have to be responsible. The coddle was, again, I always say on the channel, one of those ones where even if it was rotten, I would have had to say it was nice because Kieran was right there. But genuinely lovely. Somehow a taste of childhood. If you can get over the weird kind of look of it, it's absolutely delicious. Another Gravediggers book, another Gravediggers video on the books. We'll see you in the next one.